Beckwith.
Here.
Caldwell. Absent. Parkapisi. Here. Kessman.
Here.
Kotsinis. Absent. Linsdal. Here. Sutton.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The Warren Newport Public Library District provides the community with access to information, kindles the imagination of children and adults, and supports lifelong learning. Anyone like to make a public comment?
Yes, I'm here because
Just 1 second, let me just explain to you how it works, okay, so you understand. If you want to make a public comment, visitors are granted 3 minutes to introduce themselves and present any issues they wish to discuss, not to exceed a total of 20 minutes if we have multiple people. Speakers who wish their remarks to be added to the board record must provide a copy to the board secretary prior to speaking. Okay.
My name is Ann Gico, and I was back from the library for a year, and I think it's kind of extreme. I was trying to plead my case so I could come back sooner. And it's about this. Could you pass this around, please?
Can I have your name again, please?
Ann Gico, G-I-N-K-O.
Thank you.
Is that all that you wanted to say?
Yes.
Okay. So normally a public comment is not really a conversation, but I want to let you know a couple things about how revocation of library privileges works. Are you aware of how it works?
No.
Okay, so the decision to suspend your privileges ultimately lies with the executive director. That's Ryan Livergood, right here.
Hi.
Okay. If you want to make a formal appeal to the board about that, it has to be done in writing. And you can submit a document as an appeal, and we will consider that document.
Okay.
Okay.
I didn't know that. I'm sorry.
One thing that you should know about whether, if you choose to make a written appeal, which you might, is that the law does not permit us to go to executive session. In other words, we can't discuss your appeal in private. The law requires us to do it in open session, and our meetings, as you can see, are recorded, and they're put on the internet for our patrons to view. So any discussion that we would have about your suspension would not be done privately.
That's fine.
Okay? Is there anything that you want to add?
No, that's
Anything
correct.
that any of you wants to add that I've left out? Okay, is there anything else you want to say?
No, but ever since I moved in 2005 over there, I've been harassed in the parking lot, harassed where I live, and harassed in the library. Till I couldn't take it anymore.
Thank you, sir.
So we'll,
You might want
let's, we'll give her a copy of our policies for
Okay.
show, that way she.
Somehow somebody has started a rumor from Waukegan and has followed me here. I don't know, I
Can you
just
make a
don't.
photocopy of that for her too,
Somebody
just because it's
started a
falling
rumor
apart?
and everybody laughs at me. They're all nasty to me in this town. I don't know what I did to them. I don't even know this town.
I meant of that little falling apart
Do you want me to
slip.
make a copy of this?
Yes, please.
You can go with Jan to get the copy if you like.
Okay,
Or
then
wait
I'm
outside,
sorry.
right? Unless you have something else you want to say.
No, thank you.
Okay, thank you for coming.
I lost my agenda. Okay, I'm ready.
All right, consent agenda is next. Would anyone like to make a motion on the consent, please?
So moved.
I'll second that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain. Okay. I was in such a hurry to go on my vacation that I forgot to send Ryan my process report. Apologies. So here, I'll just pass those around. Could you put that one envelope there,
This Tom's.
this Tom's, and
Sure.
one on
This one's
George's on there
That was
too?
my
That's
Thank
George's envelope isn't here.
Okay, just put it at his place.
Okay.
Yes, I will get
And then just one at his place. Do you have one?
No, I don't have one now.
Is there an extra?
Yeah, there's another one. Sorry.
There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jan.
I'm still scared. What's up?
Mark, do you want to hear? Mark, okay. Can we go on?
Yeah, Mark was right inside the.
Okay, so it's
Mark
all
is right by
pretty
the top
routine,
here.
except I think I mentioned at the committee of the whole that I had gone to ALA and did a presentation. Watched or participated in a presentation there for trustees, and it was quite good. I also wanted to ask, I had this last time, you know, I have an ALA membership and I get this American Libraries, and is anyone interested in sharing this? It's quite interesting, and there was an article in here this last time that I photocopied. I'm not promoting this as an idea, as Ryan's thing about what other trends are in libraries. And this is an article from this issue, the June issue, that is about the idea of a human library and libraries that are doing this activity. And it's not what you think. It's not, you know, come in and see an accountant. It's not that kind of thing. It's a different concept, and I just photocopied it. If you're interested in it, you can
I'd like to see
take
it
a
as
look
well.
at it. And here's the magazine if you want to, if anyone wants to take that, just bring it back. There's a bin right here on the bookcase, and if you bring it back, you can just put it in the bin.
Okay.
And then also, is everyone getting this in your library email?
I think we did.
Okay, sometimes I just get it and sometimes all the trustees get it. I just thought that people might want to know about
I
this.
think we shared that Gurney Days Committee should have or corporation should have the whole list of all the trustees.
Perfect.
So-
Okay, great.
But maybe we should confirm that, and if
Okay,
not.
I'll pass it around for now.
We can forward
Yeah.
that around.
All right, that's all my president's things. Questions, comments? Anyone else have a report they'd like to make? Correspondence, is it this?
No, it's just.
Oh, no, this is for the,
Yeah.
okay, I see what it is, okay. All right, no, council, legal, no, all right.
No.
Okay, reports of committees, pages 31 to 33. Now we're moving along. Questions? Comments? Okay. Director's report.
One thing I want to point out, there's an error in the director's report on page 3 of the report, page 37 of your packet. That patron suspension on 7/1 was only for 1 day, not 1 year. The disorderly conduct, abusive comments.
For 1 day.
For 1 day. Now, Joe, do you have the incident report that I need to do? We should pass that on for context. The situation that was, the patron that was here, that was the 6/9 event. And if you want to look at that report, it gives some context to it. It was a pretty serious situation. So, yeah, and I attended ALA as well. It was fantastic. I went to this excellent pre-conference event on cultural proficiency for library leaders, and there's a lot that I'm going to apply to the managers retreat we're going to take in the fall. So I'm really excited. I got a lot out of it. So. I'm happy to share my handouts, and that's one thing that would the board like a formal report of the ALA, the pre-conference that I attended, or share handouts? Because I'd love to share them with you because it was really interesting.
I'd love to see them.
Okay, yeah. And I think those are the highlights. Any questions about?
I just wanted to mention, I hope everyone noticed that Debbie Hoffman's getting the.
Oh, yeah.
award.
Yes, that came.
Fabulous.
It was wonderful.
Isn't that great?
It was wonderful.
She's great. She's really,
Yeah.
really great. Congratulations to her.
And if you are familiar with Debbie's work, I mean, she's phenomenal in terms of getting author visits here, the book groups that she runs, and in terms of Reader's Advisory, it's just. Bonnie, you were in the tour. Yeah, we ran it, and you were talking about books to read, and we ran into Debbie, and she's just rattling off all these.
Well, and she was Yeah, we used one of her books for a book club. So,
Yeah.
in fact, that's Thursday night, I'm supposed to be with them. I said, bring all your books back. I will. So, yeah,
Yes.
yeah, she was very, very energized by it.
Yeah, she's phenomenal. She's real.
Thank you for putting a good
gifts.
face to the name.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah.
I heard that, that Adriana Trishani, who was here last Wednesday, that was outstanding. And I've seen her here before.
Mhm.
She is just this force of nature. And I wasn't able to go, but a friend of mine did, and she said it was wonderful. So
Yeah, it
it's-
was great.
It's really nice to have that.
It is, yeah. I was only go for the first 20 minutes or so, but she was remarkable. As was Hank Philippi Ryan, who was here. It wasn't as highly attended of an event, but she was phenomenal as well. So yeah, we get some really great authors that come in. We're very lucky.
There have been some who have said, I will come here anytime.
Is that right?
Yeah. They really, because of her.
Yeah, Debbie treats them well and is very organized. Yeah,
She does her homework.
yeah, she does. She
Yeah.
does. Yeah.
That's a really great compliment.
It really is, yeah.
Okay, anything else on the director's report? Okay, you want to tell us about bank and credit card fees?
Oh, sure. So, so this was the 6 months after I think that for the new board members, I think you were coming to the meetings then and you recall the conversation about having issues with some of the way that they're just charging us. And we worked with them and those issues have been resolved. But since then, a new issue has emerged. And that's a simple one, you'd think. They do not collect change anymore, coins. And a lot of banks are moving towards this. And this is a big
My
issue.
bank too.
Big issue for us because we have all of the, the copy machines and
Exactly.
the fax machine and all those machines that take coins. So we have a workaround right now, which is certainly not ideal. Our staff association has an account with the Consumer Credit Union, so we've been working with them to switch money, deposit the coins, but that's not sustainable or ideal at all for obvious reasons. So we do need to make a switch. If for no other reason, then we need a bank that will collect our change.
Chase doesn't, I think.
Yeah, Andrew.
Can we open up just $100 account anywhere to
To
a
do
bank
that?
that does the change?
We could, I suppose. I think that there are other reasons for us to consider a full
I mean,
change. Like we've
But to me, that shouldn't be a deciding factor on the bank,
yeah,
because we can always put $100 somewhere and open up an account,
I suppose. Yeah.
so.
But are there extenuating?
But I also think we should be
reasons?
writing our representatives to say banks should be handling money.
That's
to me
their,
is
their
the
job
job.
purpose.
I'm
Right.
shocked.
Right.
This is ridiculous.
Well, when I went to do that at Chase, they gave me the little cylinders and said, here, you can take these empty ones home and fill them, and then you can bring those back in. I'm like, well, okay.
Yeah.
It's so easy, they just put it in a machine.
Excuse me, I'd
What's
like
the
to
big-
withdraw all my money.
Yeah.
Not in coins.
Yeah, oh, that would really.
I went to Chase recently
Yeah.
to, they have all my debt, my mortgage and credit cards. I keep my money other places. But I had built up too much money in a direct deposit account, so they could direct withdraw. So I just went to go take the money out, and they had someone directing all these people to the ATMs.
Yeah, that's what they
told
me.
They had closed off
Yeah.
the windows from like 4 windows to 2. And
It's all
they
becoming
really don't
automated.
want the
Mhm.
customer service over at Chase.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think the other thing too is that that's a good point. So maybe that's something that Doug and I should discuss further and come back because we thought if we were to make a switch, we would need to decide the best time to do that in the year. There's not a terrible rush to do it, but what timing works best for us, and we haven't determined that yet. And also, we would want to have, if we were to switch banks, have accounts at both banks during the transition process to make sure everything would go smoothly. But I guess that's a good point. If it's just the change situation, do we want to stick with Fifth Third? I mean, I'll be honest. This is a meeting, and I would tell this to Mr. Rothman at Fifth Third if he watches this recording that we've had some challenges in the past, and but it is a lot of work for us to switch.
Do we want to do like one of the local banks, like the Libertyville Bank or the, I don't know what else?
We would probably recommend to the board to bank with Gurney Community.
Yeah, okay.
Because it's kind of the best of both worlds, because they're associated with Wintrust, so you get that
Yeah,
big financial institution behind you and all the benefits of that, while getting the local service.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the best of both worlds. When we met with the different representatives of banks, we felt that they were, offered the most overall. So
We do try to give a preference to people in our district.
Okay,
Yeah,
that makes
that's
a lot of
right.
sense.
It does.
They employ people who live here and they pay real estate taxes.
Right.
So, all things being equal or almost equal, or superior particularly, then we gotta support our local businesses.
Yes,
I have to say, most every trustee interaction with that bank has not been,
easy.
yeah, it's been very difficult. So,
right.
Oh, changing the cards and things like that, yeah.
it should be the simplest thing ever, and it never works. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, can we tell a story
There's a-
recently?
yeah.
Like I
There's
had.
a new one?
Well,
Yes,
yes,
so-
when I went to get, yeah.
So I talked to Fifth Third and they asked for the information, like what changes had occurred among the officers, and I promptly sent that email, and then I had a phone call from when Bonnie was there, and they said, yeah, I've got your trustee here, but I don't have the information about the new officers. I need you to send that to me. And I thought to myself, I sent this a long time ago.
I
so,
said that to them too.
So I forwarded it, and I also copied Bonnie on that because I wanted her to know that I didn't just drop the ball.
No, I
And-
knew you had,
yeah.
because you told me that. you
Yeah,
were-
it was frustrating though, and it's many. There are a number of these stories now. I know that when Nancy Sheldon, was reelected and came back on the board, she had similar issues. So, yeah.
Not
I even
easy to work
believe
with.
when Ron Friedman was elected as an officer, he had problems.
Yeah. So this is a trend, and
Well, as he shook my hand and said goodbye and said, oh, I have one question, I just want to know why you don't bank here?
Oh, so he was selling you on?
Yeah.
Well, it was in a joking way, and I said,
No.
because I bank at another community bank, that's
I've
it.
heard half and just, half serious.
Yeah, oh, yeah. He didn't pursue it, but it just made me feel.
Okay, well, we'll put that on for,
I just signed the
It's
card.
odd, yeah.
Okay.
okay. All right, so Andrea, I think, had the presence of mind to remind Brian and I that we should put the approval of last month's minutes as new business so that no one would have to take it off the consent agenda. I think Andrea was not here, right? Is that right?
Correct.
And also Bonnie?
I was not,
Okay.
yeah.
So, would anyone like to make a motion on the approval of the minutes?
I'll do. So moved.
Okay,
I'll second it.
all right. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Nay? Abstain?
Aye.
Two
Or
abstentions.
abstain. Whatever it is that you
Do you want to
say.
abstain too?
I should have said.
Yes, you should abstain.
Okay.
Uh-huh. So I guess that
Did it?
passed.
Did it?
Yes.
Yeah, the majority of
Yeah,
the quorum.
3 out of 5.
Oh, I do know that.
I know about
Okay,
that.
Andrea, can you take us through the financial reports?
Okay, now I'm just doing financial statements, I'm not
No.
teaching financial.
No, not
statements.
teaching. We're going to say that for committee.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't mean to make it.
So, no, I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
So everything looks fine to me. We're,
Those are the words we long to hear.
we're almost done with the end of the year. This is our last month. We've only got one more month. So I didn't see like the variance report in here.
It's at the end.
Ah, that's.
you got yes,
But I'm so I'm so used to seeing them by the end of the year.
right.
Everything is catching up to the budget.
Yeah, so page 110.
Page 110.
110. So one thing I did notice is that we are overall we're under budget in a lot of areas. And I just want to make sure, even though the end of the year, one thing I watch is that people don't shove a lot of expenses. Oh, it's getting close to the end of the year, let's make sure we hurry up and spend our budget. I never like to see that.
Right.
I don't think it happens here.
We're very good. Fortunately, that's the culture that I walked into. That staff are very good. That doesn't
There was a
happen.
previous director that actually said, oh, it's getting close to the end of the year, let me remind managers to spend their budgets. And I was like, What? I thought that only happened on television.
No, and
Let's not do that.
and I tell, and hopefully Jan can back me up on this, we talk about this, that the managers understand that money that doesn't get spent, it's not like it's like it goes away. We roll it in the special reserve fund, we use it for big capital projects. So it's not like it's use it or lose it. And I think some, in a municipal setting, when I was the library department, there was pressure admittedly within the library department to spend that money because that was the case. If I didn't use it, I would lose it. Not that I frivolously spent it, but if we had some needs, we would certainly spend the money. So, but that's not the case here. The money stays and we can use it for, projects that we need money for. So so people understand that.
And the goal is to conserve as much as we can, because we've got those long-term projects. Let's get those loans paid off.
Right.
So, we're in good shape going into the end of the year. I didn't have any questions, just because, by the time you get to the end of the year, everything is evening out. So I think we're good. I think we should approve these statements. Does anybody else have any questions?
I do.
I think it'll be helpful to when Andrea, when you do your presentation on how to read these, because I know it's intimidating.
I
So
try really hard.
it's okay. Don't worry. It is a intimidating, and there's a learning curve to it. So don't.
Yeah, I went to school for years to learn. And,
Yeah, I mean, I think the key is to, and Andrew, please correct me if you think this is a mistake for me to say, but I think the key is to focus on that summary, the variance report, because, you have the fortune of having Andrea and Doug that pour through these things and verify numbers and look for discrepancies, so just keep that in mind.
so we're doing that. So we're doing the signing of the checks and then later doing, I forget what we're doing when.
We're doing in August, we're doing what to look for in financial statements. And you want to wait till September for check signing?
Yeah, we can't do it.
No,
Well, I
we
think
said
that's
that you and
something
Bonnie were
that
going to
works.
be
Right.
separately.
Oh, that's
Right.
Right, we
That's
have to figure out.
Yeah.
So we'll have fun. So what I plan to do is I'll put these financial statements up on the screen, and then you guys will make notes on yours, and then you use that financial statement. And I don't want to do June because it's going to have the whole end of the year. So we can either use this one that's got part of the year or any one. But I want you to take that one, and then you can use it as your instructional manual
For
when
the
you're
one or
looking at
future
them.
ones.
So you get used to it.
Okay.
So then you can just write your notes on it and say, oh, this is what I'm supposed to look for here.
Right.
I'm only on the board 6 years, so I don't know about that getting used to it thing.
Hey,
Dare to dream.
it only took me 4 to get a CPA, so I'll get you trained up by the end.
All right.
You'll be teaching the next people.
Okay.
It's really easy.
Okay, I'll go with that.
Yes, because I don't think anyone has made a motion, right?
Okay, Andrea, you want to make a motion on those statements, on the financials?
Does anybody else have any questions? No. I move to accept the financial statements as presented.
I'll second that. Any other questions, further discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain. Okay, thank you. And June is not,
Not
okay,
available.
we'll have to postpone that then. Okay, budget ordinance.
Yeah, and there's something I think I should explain, maybe I didn't explain in the cover memo. So with this budget, this is the tentative BNA, so this isn't the final. And, if you look at this, this is one of those things you may be like, what are we looking at? Well, the budget column is what the board passed in terms of our budget, you'll recall, for this fiscal year. And the appropriation numbers are a little bit higher, and what we have to do is make sure that we appropriate enough, because there can be surprises in the budget, right? You see that in the variance report. So, anything could happen where, we need to, this came up, cleaning. Oh, we had disaster and we have to do some cleaning that we didn't anticipate. So we've appropriated more to kind of build in some cushion. So that's what that appropriation number is. And that doesn't mean that if something happens, the board can't go back and pass another ordinance that would change appropriations. That's happened in the past, but that's basically what this is. The budget that you've already seen and passed, and then the appropriation, which by law, that you have to have a certain amount appropriated because we can't spend over what's appropriated. So if we spent more on, looking at page 2, if we spent $15,000 on office supplies, that would be a problem because we didn't appropriate that. And we monitor that throughout the year to make sure we don't spend more than we appropriate. So hopefully that, maybe that you already knew that, but if not, hopefully that adds some context to what this is. And also what we'll be doing after this is there will be a hearing so the public can come in and give feedback if they so choose on the final budget and appropriation ordinance. So I think that kind of covers the basics. Any questions about this, Andrea?
Change my calendar, so the next month, that month, whatever it is. So I know, just take your 15 minutes early.
Yeah.
And
Right,
everybody
right.
gets forgetting that. I've yet to see anybody show up for one of those.
Okay, so is that, any other questions? Anyone want to make a motion then, please?
I move that the public hearing for the annual budget.
Wait,
Is that the wrong one?
no, don't we have to adopt?
We have to adopt the
ordinance
ordinance
first?
first.
The one above it.
I move that the board adopt ordinance 2017-2018-3, tentative budget and appropriation for fiscal year 2017-2018.
I'll second that. Any further discussion? Let's have a vote.
Yeah,
Ketman,
aye.
Linsda,
Aye.
Sutton,
Aye.
Kotsinis, absent, Farkapisi,
Aye.
Caldwell,
Aye.
Beckwith,
Aye.
ayes have it.
Okay, so we just got the explanation of why we have the hearing too, right?
I think so. Any questions about
Are
that?
everyone good with understanding that? Okay, someone would like to make a motion on that then?
I move that the public hearing for the annual budget and appropriation be set for Tuesday, September 19th at 6:45 PM in the McCullough Room.
I'll second that. Any further discussion? Do we consider this financial? Or can we just have a voice vote?
Let's do a voice vote just to be,
Yeah, that's
make
what-
sure we're
Okay,
covered.
I mean a roll call.
Go.
Yeah, okay, let's do that.
That's what I meant to say.
Yes.
Thank you for reading my mind.
Caldwell,
Aye.
Ketman,
Aye.
Kotsinis, absent, Sutton, Farkapisi,
Aye.
Linsda,
Aye.
Beckwith,
Aye.
ayes have it.
Okay, IPLAR per capita.
So IPLAR, what does IPLAR stand for? Illinois Public Library Annual Report. So each year we're required to submit this lengthy report, and the state, of Illinois, the State Library of Illinois will ask us for, statistics like circulation. I think they ask about, budget. I don't know what you budget for certain things. Gina is our IPLAR master, and I'm forever thankful for that. Compiles information and submits that. So the big requirement for the board is to do an audit of regular minutes. So I'll ask Joe to appoint a committee of 2 trustees for this audit of regular minutes. And this could be done after or before the August committee of the whole, or even as late as the August regular board meeting.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Shall we do that tonight, or is it not on the agenda in a proper way?
In terms of, you can just do it. I mean, it's not a formal.
Okay. Anyone want to volunteer for that?
We've had 2 people do that before, haven't we?
Well, I think you're thinking of the semi-annual review of the exec session minutes. That's different.
Because I've never done that.
Oh, okay, yeah, 2 people do it.
So I'll volunteer to do it as long as a new person does it, so that we can pass on the training.
I'm not sure what this is.
But I'll be there to help you.
Regular board meetings.
Yeah.
These
Yeah.
are regular
Yeah.
board
Something like
minutes,
this.
so maybe you could explain it better than I can.
Well, basically just reviewing them, verifying that everything is. I mean, I haven't personally done it myself. My understanding is it's reviewing the minutes, making sure that they're in order, that none are missing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that they're all signed, that's a big deal too.
Oh,
That's
all
why
signed,
Gina's
yeah.
always, sometimes she'll say, come in and sign some, I have some things that, or she might ask Bonnie to sign the minutes. So it's just it's sort of a check that has to be done as part of this report. It's required, we have to do it.
So I've done it quite a few times now, and I like to come at like 8 or 8:30 before work. So, or I could do it on the weekend, but Gina's not here. So if one of the 3 new people would like to do it, I'll sit by you side by side and show you exactly what I do, it's real easy.
Yes, it is. It doesn't take more than 5 minutes.
Yeah, I'm in it, no. Like 20 minutes. It takes like a half an hour.
Yes.
It's okay, as long as, I've got stuff going on in August, when you were doing this.
Do it. I mean, it only takes half an hour, and I don't normally get the work done anyway.
Okay, depending on if I'm available that day, I'll be happy to do it.
So we're gonna pick a day.
Okay, fine.
So pick a day.
Why don't you pick a day after the meeting?
We'll coordinate it.
Yeah, let's do it later.
Yeah, we'll coordinate after.
Okay, for the 2 of you.
Okay, so
Okay.
yeah, so Andrea and Ann have volunteered to do that audit. Okay.
And per capita grant.
Yeah.
So per capita grant fiscal year 2018, it does appear that we're still on track to receive a per capita grant for fiscal year 2018. We're still waiting for per capita grant FY 2017.
Does everyone know what that is?
Yeah, so the per capita grant, so basically all libraries in Illinois, assuming they meet the requirements, they submit the IPLR, they fill out an application for per capita grant and meet other requirements, there's a grant from the state based on, it's per capita, obviously. And for us, I think it's approximately 2% of our revenue, so not insignificant. It's a very important grant, I think, statewide, because it varies. For their libraries like us, it's a 2%, which is important for us as tight as our budget
In
is.
the past, it's been like $1 a person,
Oh,
so it's like $60,000.
Yeah,
And
it
they're
ebbs
still
and flows
paying
depending on how much they have, right?
Yeah.
And for smaller libraries downstate, the per capita grant can be half of their budget.
Sure,
So,
sure.
so October we'll get the information. Typically, there are some requirements of the board. The board will be asked to review sections of that standards of Illinois Public Libraries. Usually, that's what they ask the board to do, but we don't have that information yet. We'll have it in October, and then in January we'll need to submit the per capita grant. But it does appear that we'll receive the FY 2017 grant with the budget that was passed. And
Is there any indications that back up what you're thinking? I mean, are you?
Just wishing to hope.
You seem fairly confident.
I mean, you are aware that they just raised our income tax.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we should get it back,
Sure.
right?
No, I mean, my understanding is that that's part of the budget deal that they made, so it's passed, yeah.
Okay.
Right. So that's the only reason I feel confident. Now, we haven't seen the money yet, so that's where I'm not confident, because, anything can happen, right? I think with this thing, anytime you're expecting money from the state, until you have it, you shouldn't necessarily expect to get it at this point, so. But no, but when I talked to them, because I called, I can't remember her name, at the state, asking about the per capita grants. I think before submitting the final budget to the board, and she assured me, like, yeah, so when the budget gets passed, that it's still in the works for you to receive that money, so. Yeah.
Other questions about this? Okay, so for people who are new, twice a year, this is required by statute, twice a year, secretary and the vice president go in the locked board cabinet and they look at all of the executive session minutes that are filed in there that are still closed to the public, and they decide if any of them can be open to the public. And then also the statute says that any recordings of those executive sessions that are older than 18 months can be discarded. So twice a year that happens, and Bonnie and Tom, Bonnie just did it for the first time with Tom, and that's what this last page 121 is. So these are the dates of the minutes that they are recommending that we open to the public. That means they will come out of the locked board cabinet and they'll go in the administrative office where there is a binder of opened exec session minutes. And any recordings, there aren't any on here, but anytime there are recordings, then those go in the shredder and they're gone. So theoretically, if you wanted to go in the cabinet yourself and check on these, you could, but it is our custom that we entrust the job to the secretary and vice president, and we take them at their word. So I don't mean to make light of that. If anyone wants to see what they are like, you're welcome to do that, and Bonnie or I could show you that. But otherwise, in the absence of that, this requires a motion.
And some past ones are very exciting.
Oh, yes.
They're still there.
Did you listen to them?
Oh, no. A lot of those really exciting ones are gone. Okay, would anyone like to make a motion on this then?
So moved.
Okay, I will second that. Any further discussion, questions? All those in favor? Say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstain. Okay, so here's a list of things for our upcoming meetings. Who has anything they would like to add, please? Committee of the whole is August 1st. August regular meeting is it the 15th? 15th is the earliest it would be.
It's early, yeah. And there'll be like a 3-week. break.
Right, then the next one is, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay, all right then,
Can I
anyone?
ask a
Yes, please.
question?
Uh-huh.
The Gurney Days Parade, is that you're just giving us that information? Or
No, well, it is information, but also the bookmobile is in the parade, and any of us who wish to are welcome to walk with the bookmobile.
Okay,
It's
that's what
kind
I
of
was
fun.
asking.
Andrea and I have done it quite a few times, and
Kind of fun, it's a lot of fun.
it's fun, it's fun. Sorry, it's really super fun.
Are we gonna be, is the water going to have been received by then?
That's so
So
sick.
hopefully, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
oh,
well, right, yeah.
I'll mention that at the end, I should have mentioned that, but that's what the.
Okay, let's just, is there anyone who wants to speak in public forum? No. Okay, all right, so go ahead if you have something to add then.
Oh, we've been, keeping tabs and sitting in some of the meetings. The village, basically, they're meeting twice a day because it's all hands on deck, keeping, abreast of the situation with the flooding. And I think last I heard, the flood was ended at like about 10 feet. They're worried about the rain though, because basically they're not exactly sure how it's going to impact, but kind of a rule of thumb, roughly 1 inch would equal about 1 foot. So, you get 2.5 inches, you're talking about 2.5 feet. And, you may see some, floodwaters come back again. So if you hear anyone in the community thinking about taking down sandbags that needed, then tell them don't do it until we get through this weekend. But I'll keep you up to date. But we've been very fortunate that it hasn't impacted us. Other than the losing that day of service and then even of service. But talking to the village administrator, it was a big asset to them for us to not to be that nuisance, and it was crazy that day with them moving all the vehicles over and people coming to get sandbags.
So that was the reason that the library was closed, was access and
Well,
it's not the library per se.
Yeah, not the library. It was limited access because access was limited, and they were trying to keep those traffic moving so they could get they had to move all the basically the main fire station, all that equipment over here. They were setting up things. People were coming to get sandbags, so it was pretty crazy around here. So anyway, that's an update on that. So let's just hope there's no that the forecast is incorrect. We don't get rain, and that will help. And then because it's still, you looking at the chart that they had, it was still a slow decline. It's not like we're going to wake up one day and all of a sudden the water's going to be gone. It's going to take a little while.
Okay, anything else on these? Is art acquisitions confirmed for the 15th with everyone? Okay. We talked about that at committee of the whole, right? What that was?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then, does everyone know what Bikers for Books is? Okay, that's a fundraising event, and it was, okay, fine. All right.
So yes, if you would like to volunteer for the parade, it is a lot of fun. It really is. And Bikers for Books as well. We welcome volunteers, and that was a lot of fun last year. There's good music, hanging out, eat some good food, maybe have an adult beverage or two, and just have a good time.
You don't have to have a motorcycle.
Oh, no, in
That's
fact,
what I'm like.
actually, so how this works is there's a ride.
Right.
Does everyone know how this works?
It's a
Because I never.
singing thing, yeah,
Okay,
go
yeah,
ahead.
so they go around to different locations, and was the library the last one, is that correct? Last year?
Last year was.
Yeah, the route might be different this
It's
year,
different
but
this year, yeah.
Ryan and I were at the library, so, they all have to go to every location, and then you give them something at each location.
And it's different this year, we're giving them, it's like a poker run, so they get a card
Oh, I
at each
see.
run, and just a very basic summary, then people
Yeah.
go back, and they can buy extra cards for an extra donation, it gets $5 for an extra card at different stops.
There were grandparents with their, grandchildren on the motorcycle, and there were like married couples with the sidecar, or that's probably not what it's called, but with the little thing that rides alongside, and everyone was really in a great mood. It was fun. It was fun to see everyone come out for the library.
And so then they end at Jesse Oaks, is that? how it
This year,
works?
just it should be better this year. A lot of staff working on that. Jan is working really hard on it. Kevin's working really hard on it. We, Kevin actually helped with plan the route and mapped out electronically. So I guess there are apps that some bikers can put into their
GPS.
head. Yeah, so you can explain whether I can. So
Are you riding the scooter?
Yeah,
I've got a big scooter.
Oh, okay.
I think we're doing great publicity, and we've helped with the signs, because I guess the signage in the route last time wasn't the greatest on graphics. They laminated some signs, and we've got good sponsors. Help me out.
Indian motorcycle?
Indian Motorcycle Libertyville is our big
that's
sponsor. We've got a grand prize, well, not a grand prize, but a prize for the casino down in Joliet. Harris, thank you. So yeah, so it's going to be good. We're excited. Getting excited
So
about
if you
that.
don't ride, you can just go to the.
Yes.
Yeah.
Go just to the party, after party, yeah.
Oh, but you can take your car? Oh.
And Jesse Oaks, by the way, is a nice venue. It really is. They have great outdoor seating.
Yeah, they
Jan and I had lunch there the other
Jesse
day.
Oaks not at.
Yeah, we switched locations for a couple different reasons this year. It's a nice venue for this, because I guess it had a reputation, and there was I heard some rumors like, should we be having it there? So Jan and I had lunch one day over there, and it was nice. So
At Jesse Oaks?
yeah.
Oh, yeah, and there was one. It's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe in the past, maybe decades ago, it had a different reputation, I don't know. But no, it's fine. It's just a nice, bar and grill and.
Okay, anyone else? Do you want to say anything about Ireland?
The ILA conference, yes, October 10th, 11th, and 12th. Some highlights of that for us. Debbie Hoffman will be receiving her award at the award ceremony. We're actually doing a presentation. Eddie Christon and I are talking about basically service in the library, and it's an interesting model, because if you've interacted with our security team, you'll see that they do more than just enforce policy. They live the ideals of the world's nicest public library. They also provide service to the public. So the idea here is that all of our staff, we all are trying to provide the best service possible to the public and to each other. So the focus on that really is going to be how the security team is different than what you might expect as a library security team. So it should be cool. So I'm excited about that.
Where is this convention center?
Tinley Park. So it's a bit of a trek.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Donald Stevens is in Rosemont.
Rosemont.
Yeah, it's
Oh, then this is a typo then, because it is.
Because it has been at Donald Stevens before, but now
So
it's
Tinley
somewhere
Park.
else. I was going to
Yes.
say, I thought it was in Tinley Park.
Yeah, you're right. Donald Stevens is. Yeah, no, it's Tinley Park. Good eye. I don't know if that's the Tinley Park Convention Center or what it's
I don't know.
called. It's,
Down.
yeah,
That's all right.
Yeah.
it's a ride.
It's a long.
Unfortunately.
Anyone else have any other announcements? Would like to move to adjourn. I'll second that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Thank you.
Anyway,
Is that for you?
I'm thinking next week, let's just knock it out.